Suspended Deputy National Head of Public Prosecutions, Advocate Nomgcobo Jiba, has denied being paid any money by Angelo Agrizzi or anyone from Bosasa. Jiba was testifying at the Mokgoro Enquiry and has described it as a liberating opportunity to give her side of the story. The inquiry is investigating her fitness to hold office. Jiba is charged with misconduct and mishandling of high-profile cases. Taking the stand for the first time in the inquiry, Advocate Jiba started with a prepared speech. She says for many years she has been unfairly vilified for doing her job. She said she welcomed the opportunity to address the inquiry and be judged by a fair panel. She described the NPA as bigger than anyone. However, she says she was disappointed to hear testimonies from current and former colleagues that described her as unqualified for the job of Deputy National Director of Public Prosecutions. Jiba told the inquiry that she has a total of 27 years of experience within the NPA. Now, reflecting on the difficult times within the NPA, Jiba says she was deeply hurt when she faced perjury charges. This after she had authorized racketeering charges against a former KwaZulu-Natal Hawks boss, Johan Boysens.
I have never felt so betrayed by my own institution in my entire life. When I was paraded before a court as a criminal, merely for exercising a discretion. I could not understand, and I looked at Jan Ferreira. Jan Ferreira is my colleague. I've worked with him in the Special Commercial Crimes Unit. I could not understand what is it that he is talking about, because there is sufficient evidence in the docket, at least, that I saw from the information that I read. It's a pity that counsel is asking me this question before the chairperson has ruled on whether I can produce this evidence or not.
Let's get more on that story. Across to our reporter, Sipho Stuurman, who is in Pretoria. Good afternoon to you, Sipho. Advocate Jiba appearing very affronted at the allegations she's faced at the Mokgoro Enquiry today.
Well, a very good afternoon to you and our viewers at home. Indeed, Advocate Jiba took the stand for the first time in this inquiry and giving quite what one can call an emotional testimony. Earlier on, she started off with a prepared speech stating that she has been heavily criticized in public and vilified and painted as this person who's not qualified for a job, particularly by some of her colleagues that have come to this inquiry to give testimony and saying those testimonies have hurt her deeply. But just to get more, let me just speak to the man who was right next to her, that is Advocate Zola Majavu. Thank you very much. You were right next to Advocate Jiba during that testimony, and she will of course continue after the lunch adjournment. Just talk to us about the strategy behind having that prepared speech. Firstly, let me confirm to the viewers out there that she's almost at the tail end of her testimony. If you are listening, she had indicated that regardless of what the panel recommends about her, she was very passionate about the prosecutorial independence and the weight that she is hoping they would be attached. And it was at that point that I think, like all of us, her emotions got the better of her. So when she does come back, she'll finish off the point that she was trying to make. But it has to do with how strongly she feels about prosecutorial independence. The strategy about an opening address, look, I've been there from the beginning, and I am one of those people who said to her as her lawyer, and eventually she became a sister, I said to her, you're an officer of the court, you are a lady, you're a mother, you're a sister, you're an aunt to some people, and you're a leader in your own right. In spite of these vilifications publicly, maintain a dignified silence. And true to form, she did exactly that. All right, so this was more presenting of Jiba as the person behind this public persona. It seems as if she said that she has given herself to this process, and whatever the outcome, whether she loses her job or not, she would accept that.
Of course, and that is in the nature of the person that you are dealing with. The reason why we decided to keep her away from the media was precisely to avoid a situation where the person in her comes out and we lose the bigger picture. So today, being the correct forum, we thought it would be the best place where she can speak from the heart, speak for herself, and not let lawyers speak for her. And that's how the idea of an opening address and a closing address came from. Both were off script.
All right. Well, there you have it. That is the legal representative of Advocate Jiba just talking to us about the strategy of having her giving that opening address and the closing address, just to get a more personal side of Jiba, the person that we've been reporting on since this inquiry has started. Of course, just before we adjourn there, she also touched on the Agrizzi matter. You will know that the former Bosasa COO, that is Angelo Agrizzi, made those allegations a state of capture commissioner that Jiba had received about 100,000 rands per month to halt possible prosecutions into Bosasa officials. She says that she has never received any of those monies. She does not know who Agrizzi is, has never met him, and that her salary only comes from the NPA in Zinga.
Sipho, do you have an idea of what's coming next?
Well, what's coming next is that she will continue. She's on the last part of her testimony, and then what we expect is that the evidence leaders then will come through her testimony, where she will face sort of cross-examination. Also, Mokgoro has not. That is, Mokgoro is the special director of public prosecution who's charged alongside Jiba. He gave his testimony yesterday, but he has not yet been cross-examined. So both of them are going to be cross-examined by the evidence leaders. So we expect that process to be underway as soon as Jiba is finalized.
Sipho Stimman, thanks for your time giving us an update on that Mokgoro inquiry. Now this